Looking back over my life, spent the most of it tongue-tied. And I wish I'd had more time listening to you speak your mind. Now I'm thinking about it every day, on my mind a typical way. Are you a life force? Thinking about it every day, on my mind a typical way. Are you a life force?
Hey guys, my name's Nate. I've been shooting film for, I don't know, about a year, at least a year, because I've got a roll that was shot on 10/27 last year. I think it's 10/26 today, so we're going to develop it 1 year later. So I've been shooting film at least a year, probably a year and a half. I've never taken my film to labs. I've always developed it at home right here and scanned it. So I'm having pretty consistent results. So I wanted to record a video, show you how I do it, and hopefully it's helpful for somebody, at least one person. Anyway, quick intro to the setup. I've got a table here with all my chemicals in a box underneath. Distilled water for everything. I've got a water bath here. Cinestill sous vide machine with the holder. It's kind of nice to have the holder. I use the Jobo Unitank 1500 with 2 reels, or 1520 with 2 reels, or one if you're doing 120 like we are today. I got a beaker here for the snip test that I do now, because I did have 2 rolls that I guess my developer went bad. It was the Fuji developer, which I'm still using, but that, I guess, batch went bad somehow. I don't know. It's never happened with Kodak or Cinestill or whatever other ones I've used, but odd. Anyway, so now I snip test every time to make sure. It takes 4 minutes to do, and then you get much higher confidence. Anyway, so we're going to do that. I got my chemicals, developer, bleach, fixer, and then what I do every time I start, I take somewhere around 50 milliliters of developer. Dump it out. And add 50 milliliters of new developer. Just to cycle in a new little batch. And then I close this back up. So I made 5 liters of everything. So I've got, I think, 2 liters in this, and then I've got like 2 more liters in another one of these, and then my 500 milliliters in here. And I think I've gone through 500 milliliters already. Oh yeah, I threw out the bad batch. So anyway, so we get that going. I do that at the start of each time. Close it up. Set my developer in there. Then the bleach. Then the fixer. In order. Can't break the order. Turn on my Cinestill. And I set the bath to 102 degrees Fahrenheit. and that gets the chemicals to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. That's what Fuji calls for their developer. Other developers call for 102. This one's 100, so I always set the water bath to 2 degrees higher. And I'll start it. Alright, so the next phase, I'm going to show you, we're doing 120 today, but I'm going to show you both. So, you have your reels. You should have two. I take this guy with the stem and everything, and just place it in there for later use. Alright, so if we're doing 35 millimeter, what you do is I take this leader here, and just cut it off right at the where it goes flat. But I kind of retain the curvature. So how it curves on this side, I match the other side, and then eventually go flat across, or keep a nice arc across the whole thing. And that's so that when you're going through this, it's got a little bit of a curvature and doesn't get stuck, because it will get stuck if you don't do that. Also, when you're doing, so these reels are 35 and 120. You take it apart and go to the first notch to do 120, or you go down to do 35. The 1520 Jobo can do two 35s or one 120. Okay, if you're doing two 35s, you do them on individual rolls. If you're doing 135, like one roll of 35 millimeter, do it on an individual roll, put it in, and then put the blank roll on top so it doesn't slide up that post when you're inverting. If you're doing 120, you flip it like this, and then you use this little red tab here, which clips in. You keep it open, you load your first roll or reel of 120, and then you spin it all the way to the end so that it's all the way at the end, and then you clip this down, this red piece, clip it down, and then you load your next roll onto the same one. So you got two 120s on the same spool, and that fits in there. Only one of these fits in. If you're doing 220, which I've never shot actually, then you just take this off and then you do 220, one roll of film on one reel. If you're doing 35 millimeter, take this off. It'll get caught on it, and it's a pain in the butt. I thought my reels were messed up, but it really was just getting caught on this, so you don't want to do that. Practice a few times outside. I'm not really going to show you because it just is what it is. With 35, once you cut the leader off, you can get it started about 3 inches onto the reel and stick it inside so it's already started. And then what you do is you spin the right side up, and then you hold it, and then you spin it and you hold it, and you spin it forward and you hold it, and you spin it forward and you hold it, and you just keep repeating the process. Same with 120. I'm going to show you something else. So if some cameras, like point and shoots, might retract the leader all the way in when you're done, or if you're shooting like an M6 or something, you might just rewind it and not leave a leader out. So I'm going to show you how to get it out. I try to leave my leaders out. Like my Class S has a setting to where it doesn't rewind it all the way. Or if I'm using an M6 or an MP or something, I stop the rewind once it loses. It's like once it comes off, you can kind of tell there's no more tension, and then I stop pulling it. So then I know that the leader is going to be out. If it's inside, it's really easy to get out. You can use a tool. They make tools. I never use those because I find that it's really easy. It might take a few times, but all you have to do is this way, either lick it or dump it in water or whatever. I just lick it, and then you push it in. You push it in a little bit, maybe 3 inches, and then First try comes out. Oh, it's almost every time the first try. Um, you don't want to pull it really hard because then you'll pull out, potentially exposed frames. So you don't want to do that. But just a quick little yank and make sure that you stop yourself and it should come out. If it doesn't come out right away, re-wet it, put it back in. You can spin this to try to get it to like loosen up. But you should, as you're pushing it in, you should see it spinning. And eventually then let it sit for like 2 or 3 seconds and let the film attach to itself because it's wet, it'll dry, it'll stick. And then you pull it out. Um, Try it with a test reel. This is a good reel, but this is a test reel that went through the X-ray coming out of Italy. So also it was rolled up, so I don't know why, because normally that means it's been shot, but I didn't have it marked as exposed, so I'm not going to shoot it. But now it's a test roll. So anyway, yeah, then you clip the leaders, put them on, get them seated, set them inside, and roll it up. That's 35 millimeters, super easy. And you have to zip this up, put your hands in, and do it all inside. Always remember to put your scissors in because once you're done unrolling it and reeling it up, you need to snip it off at the very end, and you want to get as close to this as possible. Because some cameras will shoot up until the last like millimeter of this roll film. I've actually cut into frames before because it was so close. So anyway, that's 35. 120 is a little bit different. Um, yeah, I only got one roll, obviously, because we're only doing one. So I'm going to seed this, set that thing up in there so it's ready to go. You can't do anything ahead of time with this to get it like started or anything like that, other than setting it at the right distance. Is that a kid? I got bouncing kids. Um, all right, so I got two 120s. What you can do is pull the tape off and get it ready. Hey, Bubba.
Way downstairs, jumping.
Yeah, I'm doing a video. Okay, so with 120, it has backing paper. So like this is backing paper that covers the film. So you have to unroll it inside so you don't expose it. It doesn't, with 35 millimeter, it rolls back into the canister. With 120, it's different. It has a take up spool on the other side of the camera, and you connect it like this, and then it rolls it across from one spool to the next. And you don't ever rewind it, it just transfers to the next spool. That's how that works. So you put it inside. What I do is I start unrolling it, and I get the film, and then I unroll the whole film because the most inner part of it is round really tight. The outer part is round less tight because it's on the outside of the roll, and it's been sitting for a while like that. So what I do is I pull it out, and then I basically roll it the other way so that the tighter spots on the inside. Anyway, it's easier to put onto the spool like that. So I put these inside, and this isn't going to be fun to watch, but I'm going to record it anyway. Scissors. You won't need scissors for this one because it's 120, and so you'll take the film off the backing paper. There's going to be a piece of tape at the end. Take that tape off of the film, and then you roll them onto the spools. So I'm going to record it just to kind of time myself, and I will let you know as I'm getting through like the first one, through the second one. Built this city on rock and roll. Built it. You're doing this blind, by the way. You're gonna want to hit the gym for a couple months before you do this, so that build up some muscles, keep it tight. Otherwise, you can get your kid to wrap a zip tie around your biceps. Anyway, make sure you zip that sucker up because otherwise you're gonna expose your film. Cool, so we're ready. So I take my first roll. I know you can't see any of this, but maybe I'll do another video where I kill a roll just to expose it. All right, so I pull it out. Okay, I got the film. So now I separate the film and the backing paper, and I let the film roll up as I pull it off. And we pull the whole thing off. We let it roll up. Let it roll up. And then I get to the end where the film is taped to the backing paper. And we take the tape off of the film, not the other way around. It comes off the film. I don't know what it would do if you had the tape still on it while you develop it, but I gotta imagine it's not the best. Cool, so that's off. Now we got a rolled up film. And just touch the edges only. You don't need to touch the actual front of it. I never have issues with dust or scratches, but I don't wear gloves either. I just don't touch the front of the frame or the film. Okay, so then you get your reel going. You want to find that red tab, should be sticking out, and you put that to your right, and then you find where the like the start of the reel is, and then I got it. You line them up, then you put the film in it. Okay, I'm in it. Then you pull it a little bit to get it going. Came off. It's not the easiest thing to do while you're not looking inside. But okay. I'm in. Again, you can do this 100 times and it doesn't really get easier. Okay, so I'm in. I'm started. You got the roll hanging down, then you pull it as much as you can, and now you just roll it. I'll make another video of this in the open air so you can see it, but I'm just pulling it through. I'm not having any issues so far. Okay, I'm all the way on now. So now what I do is I take my hands, wrap it around the frame, around the film, and I just hold the film still and spin that reel back towards you. As long as you're holding the film still and spinning the reel back towards you with your left hand, you should feel it spinning itself onto the, like, deeper and deeper into the spiral of the reel. And it should be getting tighter and tighter, smaller. And eventually it will stop. It's hit the end. And then you close the red separator. Okay? Now we're ready for the second roll. So I set it down. I always set it down the same way with like the red side up. So when I grab it, I know which side I'm grabbing it from. Now I grab the other piece of film, start to unroll it. I've got the film now, and keep pulling it out. Let the film itself spool up on it over itself. Keep pulling it, yada yada yada, and I'm totally on. So now I've got both 120s on this spool. Grab my tank, open it up, grab that little tube, pop it on, put it inside, close it up, pull it out. That's it. Done. And then I take my scissors and leave them in here for the next time. Close this up. And that's it for now. Easy peasy. Alright. I'm going to try to talk louder so that you can hear me over this. But now we got to check to make sure that the developer is the correct temperature. Once it's open, make sure it does not fall over. That'd be tragic. Drop that in. We are at 100. So we're good to go. Take it out. Let it drop. Okay. I always use a roll of paper towels right next to me, and I try to keep this space kind of clean as possible as I go. Alright, so now what we're going to do is use a piece of 35 millimeter film. It could be any film, doesn't matter. Drop it in a beaker. Pour a little bit in. And we start our timer, whatever type of timer you want to use. Start for 3 minutes. Alright, while it's going, I've made some cheat sheets. Alright, so we're doing, well, this is 35 millimeter, but it's same thing. So we'll look at like Portra. So here's the end of a roll of Portra. Hard to see, but trust me, it is very black. Cannot see through it, and then you can see the Portra writing on the end here. That's good. That's a good thing. So a good roll. If it's bad, this is the one that I did that turned out bad. You can see my finger through it. See that? That's bad developer. No bueno. Here's the good one. You can see you really can't see my finger through it. But on the bad one, you can see it very easily, no matter how you hold it. So, like here's a piece of gold. This one I ran through the bad developer, and that was actually developed film. It came out with nothing on it. And then I did a snip test to show you can't see anything through it, and that's my good developer. So I've taped it to the bad one to kind of show. So you can make these and keep them so that you can compare. Anyway. So it's got about a minute and a half left. Okay, so it's been 3 minutes. So now what we're gonna do?
Take it out.
All right, so now we gotta take it out. Yep, exactly. So I take this, grab it through a sprocket, lay it on here. And we can dump this developer because it's used, well, because it's cold really. It's the real reason.
I'm steaming. I bet you that's been on like for 10 days.
It has been.
Oh my gosh. That was moving.
You're being silly. This ain't TikTok, girl. Okay, so we're done. And, well, it's focusing on her face, but it is, you have to trust me, it's totally black. Can't see through it. So that is a good developer. We're good to go. Haha, thanks, Harper. Okay, here we go. I can show you now.
Yeah, you're making it on camera.
There you go. Cool. All right, that's our snip test. So now we take this, and you can keep it to compare it if it's your first time, or you can chuck it.
I thought you said you would never do it again. Only on the next. I said you would do it.
All right, so now I'm gonna stop the sous vide, because really the developer is the most important part to be at temperature. The rest can be, they have a wider tolerance. So we're gonna take the developer. We're ready to go into our tank. We've got film loaded. Thank you, assistant.
Welcome.
We pour that sucker in and we start our clock. 3 minutes, and I do 3 minutes and 30 seconds. The more you do in that batch of developer, the more you have to do it, but put our lid on. Okay, so we do 30 seconds of continuous. Don't stop inverting. And I burp it every like few, especially with the bleach, but with the developer I burp it. So we do 30 seconds of continuous. And again, you can stop the sous vide now because the water's going to stay at 102 for quite a while.
Hey, Daddy. Why didn't you empty the other one also?
Which one? That's last. We'll have to do that last.
Last?
So we do the developer first, then we do the bleach, then we do the fixer.
That fixes last?
Fixer, yes, to fix it.
You don't want even gloves?
Okay, so I put it back into the bath, and then you do every 15 seconds, you do 2 to 3 inversions, and I tap it just to get it some bubbles out. I put it back into the bath just to keep the developer at 102 degrees or 100 degrees as best as we can. So obviously, as you have the developer out and you're like inverting it, it's going to start dropping temperature. So if you just put it back in, it should stay as close to 102 or 100 degrees as possible. It's really just for the developer. For the rest, it's okay. At least that's how I've done it, and I haven't had any problems. So anyway, we do this for the next minute and a half, and we'll start it when we're ready to go on to the next step. All right, so we've got 35 seconds left on the developer. Just real quick, go ahead and get your bleach ready while you're like got time to think, and make sure you don't get the fixer. And by the way, label your bottle and your cap, because I'm not sure, maybe I mixed the bottle and cap one time and that's why it went bad last time or 2 times ago. Not sure, maybe the developer was just bad, but either way, label both. And put a big old A for developer, B for bleach, and C for fixer, so you know you got the order right. All right, take it, I use a funnel, pour it back into the developer bottle. Okay. And bleach goes in. And this is going to go for 6 minutes and 30 seconds. I don't extend bleach runtime as we do more rolls in the batch. I just let it go for 6 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay. That's good. Put this on. Counter's timing, or the timer is counting down. So we invert for 30 seconds. Every 4 for the first couple, burp it, or this thing will psh everywhere, all over your wall. Trust me. Burp it. After the first, like, 16, I still do it every time, after every 4, but the gases kind of subside after the first 30 inversions. You can wear gloves. I've never had issues with not wearing gloves. Now I've gotten the bleach onto my shorts, and it will bleach it. I don't know if it was the bleach or the developer or what, but my green Vuori's turned white. So okay, it's been 30 seconds. I don't put it back in the water, but what I do is I take this time to clean up. So I got my developer cap. Go ahead and smush this down. Cap it. Put it away. We're done with that. Unless you're going to do more rolls, you can put it back in the water to keep it at temperature. But then what I do is I take my distilled water and clean that off. And remember to invert 4 times every 30 seconds and tap it. And then I go ahead and put the funnel in the bottle that I'm working on so that I know where to put it next. Sometimes this gets like monotonous and you go like, blank-minded or whatever, and you might do the wrong thing out of order, so you want to kind of make sure that you set yourself up for success. What are these? These are old. Okay. So my timer's on 4 minutes. This timer's cool because it's a sous vide and a timer combo. And it's got 2 timers on it. The first one goes for 3 minutes and 30 seconds or whatever you set it to. So that's for the developer. Then the second one defaults to 8 minutes, but you can go to 6 minutes and 30 seconds for this kit. And then it'll just move on to the next. And then once that's done, then we go and wash and come back, and you have to reset one of the timers back to 6 minutes and 30 seconds for the fixer. So anyway, while we're doing this, I'm going to just talk about the washing step. Some people pre-wash. I don't. I've not seen a need to. And I also saw kind of, I don't know if it was attributed to the pre-wash, but I saw some pretty weird shifts in color when I was doing the pre-wash. So I don't know if it was like due to that batch of chemicals I mixed, or because I was pre-washing it, or because my water is weird. I don't know, but I use distilled water to make all my chemicals, and then for the washing I use my sink water. So again, I don't know what it was, but I don't pre-wash it. But during the mid-wash between bleach and fixer, I use sink water, and I keep it at 100 degrees just so I don't drastically change the temperature of the film. I did that with black and white once, and it caused a bunch of reticulation. So I had to learn about that, which sucked. So anyway, I don't know if it does that with color, but again, I've only been doing this for a year and a half, but I found a way that works and doesn't do weird stuff. So I'm going to stick to it. So I don't pre-wash it. I do the wash between the bleacher and the fix. Yeah, the bleach and the fixer. And I wash it at 100 degrees Fahrenheit. That's how I do that. So we'll get to that step next. And so I'm not going to record it because it's boring, but at about a minute, I walk over there to the sink and I turn on the faucet to where I think 100 degrees is. I bring the thermometer over and I make sure it's there. I let it get to temperature. And then when this hits a minute, I'm going to pour this back into the bleach bottle, go over there and rinse. And all you do is the same as this. You fill it up with water, and dump it, and just fill up with water and dump it, fill up with water, dump it, which is not the same as this. But the other way you could do is the same as this, or you could fill it up with water and invert it. But I don't do that. I fill it up and dump it. Probably like 10 times. They say do it for 3.5 minutes. But sometimes I just get like impatient and I just want to get it over with. And I haven't found that it makes much of a difference to wash it for 3.5 minutes or 2 minutes. So I just kind of do what as long as I do like 10 times, I'm good. So I got 40 seconds left, so I'm going to do that. So that's heating up. Again, get your cap ready. Do another inversion. And they say that you can leave a 10-second pour time. So like at 10 seconds, you start pouring back into the bottle, and that gives you, still time and contact with the solution while you're pouring it. But again, 10 seconds isn't going to make a big difference in the bleach or the fixer. Not that I've experienced. I go ahead and put this in here because I want to go wash it over there. And go ahead and close up your bleach so you don't forget. I put it away and lock it for the kids so they don't get into it. So I take everything over to the sink and we're just gonna fill it up and invert it, or dump it out 10 times.
A few moments later.
Alright, so we've washed. I'm gonna lay out a little bit of paper towel to set things on. I've got the funnel. Our tank is ready. Now we'll get the fixer out of the water. These accordion bottles hold water inside of the grooves. They're little fat rolls. So try to dump it out and then dry it off. Spin it and dry it. Cool. So now we're going to set our timer back to 6 minutes, 30 seconds. And start it. Fixer in. Always fill it up. Wait till you see the chemical come above and like settle above. That way you know it's covering the whole film. I've done it where I didn't cover the whole film and it leaves like a line. Okay. 30 seconds. Burp every 4. And you can stop burping now. Okay. Alright, so now every 30 seconds we invert 4 times. So I have a gallon of distilled water that what I do is I keep it filled up to maybe like enough to fill it up a couple times. And then I put you could do photo flow, which I actually have. I don't know why I'm using this, but you get rinse aid or jet dry. Just put a couple squirts in there. And that'll be the last thing that we rinse our film with so that water slides right off of it and doesn't leave any water streaks. I close that up. Okay, so what we do is keep doing that. Invert it 3-4 times every 30 seconds. We got 4 minutes left, and we'll pour it out with 10 seconds left. Alright, so now we're at the end of the fixer. We got 20 seconds left on the clock. Down by 2. Nate from the 3! I got the water going. It's at 100 degrees. Doesn't need to be at this point. Your film is no longer light sensitive, so you can actually take it out and wash it. But I don't. So I'll pour this back in. Go ahead and close it up again, because now you're going to go wash and hang and everything, so you don't want to forget about this and leave it open and exposed to oxygen all day. Done that before. Alright. So put that away. Did that fall over? Yeah, it did. Put that away. Now we're going to take everything over again. Invert it. Fill it up, invert it, fill it up, invert it, fill it up, invert it 10 times. And then we'll fill it up with the distilled water with the photo flow or stabilizer or rinse aid, whatever you want to use. And then let it soak in that for another minute. So I'm going to go do my inversions.
A few minutes later.
Okay, so I've done my inversions of sink water. Now I'm going to fill this thing up with the solution we made of distilled water and a few drops of rinse aid. Fill it to the top. Okay. While that's doing its last little bit of soak, I have a photography stand, like a light stand in there with I guess a boom arm, I think you'd call it, or whatever, with some clamps up top. That's what I use to hang and dry from. This is a very dust-free environment. Light no longer matters. We're no longer light sensitive at this point. It's developed and done. So you can leave the lights on, you can turn the lights off, whatever you want. But I turn them off when I get it finished. A couple things you'll need besides the clamps. For 120, I use popsicle sticks, which I only have 2 of right now, so I'll figure that out. But I use those to clamp at the bottom of it to keep it tight so it doesn't curl on itself, because it'll curl up but it'll also curl in. So I use these to prevent that. You'll need Kim wipes. You don't need it, but I'd say you need it. Get them. And then you need your clamps and binder clips or whatever you want to use. Binder clips are great because they're flat and longer, but those clamps are great because they're heavier and they'll keep weight on it. 35 millimeter hangs very nicely, but 120 is a little bit lighter, shorter, so you want more weight on that. So anyway, you take the lid off of this and pour out the water. It's pink. Get the reel out. Give it a nice shake or 2 to get water off of it. Anyway, so you can see the reel is nice. We got images, good density. I can probably take it apart and show you without it unrolling. What I'll do is I'll put my hand here so it stays, but if you can see it, it's nice and evenly spread across all the little internal tracks of the reel. So it's perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna go into here because it's a little bit wet. We don't want wifey getting mad. Cool. That one's good to go. I think I had the lens cap on for the first like 2, so they're blank, but the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are perfect. And it shot very to the last. Literally, it shot over the film, but whatever. Or maybe something got messed up on this one, but anyway. So what you do, take your fingers, squeegee it off. Like 2 times, maybe 3 times. No more than 3 times, because then it starts to get sticky. And hang it. Don't want that. You can use, I don't really want to do that because the frame is all the way at the end. Might just let that one hang. Hey, Bubba.
I'm gonna break this table.
It's okay.
He just did it 2 times.
Alright, I'm making a video, okay? Hey, can I finish the video? Give me 2 minutes. Scotty. Thank you. I love you. Alright, then we... Same thing with the next one, and this one looks really good. I'm gonna come show you this one. Got all 10 frames here. And the density just looks brilliant. We got palm trees, we got, what is that? Oh, this is, oh my goodness, this is, Fort Pickens. This is Travis's photo shoot. Holy cannoli. These are good photos. Heh. There's Travis and his babes and his wife. Wow, a year later to the day. Cool beans. This is going to be a fun one. Now we take Kim wipes. Take it. Roll it. Roll it one more time. Take it to the film. Put it through. Wrap it around. Bend it forward and pull down. Beautiful. We'll put this at the bottom. So again, take it, fold it, and then when you wrap it around, you take it and you push forward so that it gets tight on the film. It'll go down. It won't leave any dust. Put everything back. And then you go and you rinse everything off really well. You let it dry for the next time. Really want these reels to be dry, like bone dry when you load them. Otherwise it just gets really difficult to load them. Oh yeah, we didn't use the popsicle sticks on this one, but that one we couldn't even do it because the frame goes all the way to the bottom, and this one I just put that. They're fine. They don't really need it. I used to do it, but don't really need it anymore. As long as you let it dry thoroughly for like 2 hours before you scan it. Otherwise, 120 starts to fold inwards, and then as it dries, it folds back out flat. So just make sure you let it go through its drying process before you scan it, and it'll be perfecto. I should have stood here. Anyway, Oh yeah, repping the Homewood. Check out my boy Travis. I'm developing his photos from our photo shoot a year ago from tomorrow. So yeah, Homewood Construction in Pensacola. He does new builds, remodels, everything. Maybe I'll get him to sponsor this video. So who knows? Thanks. Anyway, from here we're going to let it dry, and then we'll come back for the scanning. If this were 35 millimeter, it'd be nothing different. You would do the same exact thing. Squeegee it off, Kim wipe it, hang it up, clip up top, clip at the bottom, and let it hang for 2 hours. Nothing different, except they'd come off with 2 reels instead of 1. So that's it.